Good day, everyone. We are back with another awesome and great program, pumping you up with positivity and motivation. Yes, welcome everyone to Joe Radio Live with yours truly, JC Vibes. First time listeners, special welcome to you as always. Shout outs to each and every one of you, Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, USA, wherever in the world you are listening. Welcome and blessings to you and yours. Alright, as always, we start off with giving thanks. Want to thank God for this program and all the others that we've been able to do before. Alright, and all that we will do in the future. Want to thank God for the listeners, for you, the listeners, for liking, sharing, and supporting us all the way. We appreciate it. Much love to you. Alright, so today we are going to be talking about murmuring and complaining. Yes, murmuring and complaining. How many of us do that? Some of us even on a daily basis. Alright, and we have two scripture verses that we are going to be talking from. And the first one is Exodus chapter 16 verse 8. And it says, "And Moses said, This shall be when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full, for that the Lord heareth your murmurings, which ye murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord." Alright, we also have, where is the other one? Give me 1 second here. Right, we are also taken from 1 Corinthians 10, chapter 10. And it says, "Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer." Alright, so once again, our scriptures for today in this program is Exodus 16:8 and 1 Corinthians 10, chapter 10. You can check it out. Alright, so basically, how many of us really and truly murmur and complain? And with all that is taking place in life, it's easy to find things to complain about, and some people even go so far as to make it their business to find things to complain about. But with all of that, and as much as there are things to complain about, I can safely tell you there's a lot more to thank God for than to actually complain about. A lot more. Alright? Way more. I can tell you that. Right? Just the fact that we wake up on a morning, that in itself is enough reason to thank God. We really ought not to be complaining. It doesn't matter what you don't have, what you wish you had, what you would like to have. What matters is what you have, what God has provided you with. So murmuring and complaining, it really doesn't help anything. It doesn't help the situation. As a matter of fact, it adds stress to your life, right? It adds stress to your life, and stress brings on illnesses and stuff like that. So you're basically creating, another bill to what you already have when you really check it out. Alright? So you're in a situation, whatever it might be, at home, at work, wherever, and you're just complaining about every little thing. You're just complaining. And the thing about it is, the more you complain is the less that you would thank God. Right? Because you're spending most of the time complaining. Right? So obviously, that's less time you're spending thanking God. And then the more you complain, you're going to reach to the point where you're not going to be thanking God for anything at all. Because all you're going to be seeing is negative. That's it. Negative. Everything negative. And the enemy plays on these things. The enemy tries to get us to focus on, what we don't have. And instead of us focusing on what we have and thanking God, Lord, telling God, Lord, even though I would have liked to have this and I wish I had that, I thank you for what I have. I thank you for this. I thank you for that. I thank you for the breakfast that you made possible for me to eat this morning. I thank you for the lunch. I thank you for the person that prepared the breakfast. I thank you for the blessings. I thank you for my job. I thank you for my family. And you just thank God. You just make it your business to thank God. You know, make it your business to thank God. You know, the scripture says in all things give thanks. But when you complain, you know, we see here in Exodus 16:8, right, that it says here that their murmurings were not against Moses really, but it was against God. Why was their murmurings against God? Moses was the man that God chose to lead them. And they were murmuring against Moses. So they were murmuring against the authority that God had placed over them. They were murmuring against the man of God. They were murmuring and complaining against what God had, or the person God had put in place. And how many times do we do that? How many times? And sometimes we do it consciously, sometimes we do it unconsciously. But how many times do we murmur and complain against the things that God has put in place? You know, maybe you know you're trusting God for a vehicle, and God bless you with the vehicle. You know, but then guess what? Maybe your favorite color is blue, and God bless you with a red vehicle. And so now you know you vex with God because why? Because God didn't give you the color vehicle that you wanted. When what you should really be doing is thanking God for the vehicle, because there are many people that wish they had the vehicle that you're complaining about right now. And so it's the little things. It's the little things that could make us and break us. Simple little things. Simple little things. You know? So if you are a person that complains, maybe you never realized it before. You know, sometimes we do things and we really don't realize unless somebody points it out to us. You know? And so maybe you know you complain a lot and you never really realize that you complain a lot. You know, take a little step back, take a little reality check, and tell God, Lord, forgive me for complaining, forgive me for murmuring, forgive me for focusing on what I do have, and help me to focus on what I do have. Excuse me. Because the other thing is this: when you complain and you murmur, you block the blessings of God for your life. Now, there are many things that can block the blessings of God, but murmuring and complaining is one of them. You actually block the blessings of God because you because of that constant complaining. God can't work in your life. God cannot work in your life the way that He would like to, because you are preventing Him by constantly complaining. And so I pray that this short message would be a blessing to you. Somehow, some way, it would be a blessing to you. It would be an eye-opener for you. If you are, one of those people that complain and murmur, maybe you have children and you complain about your children and stuff like that. Well, guess what? There are people who wish they had the children you have, and they can't have them. Sometimes the things we complain about, and many times as a matter of fact, the things we complain about, there are people who wish they had what we have and complaining about. And so we really need to give thanks. I remember hearing a message from T.D. Jakes, and this was just a little by the way. This wasn't really the essence of the message, and in his introduction, he said I think he had asked the people to stand or something like that, and he was making just drawing a reference, and he said some people some people might want to complain about the standing. They might have a problem with the standing. He said, but there are some people who wish they had legs to stand on. You might be complaining about the traffic. You're stuck in traffic and this traffic and this traffic. But then there are people who wish they had a vehicle to be stuck in traffic. You know what I mean? And so we really, if we focus more on what we have, on what God has blessed us with, life is so frail and fragile. You're here 1 minute, you're gone the next. It doesn't make sense spending the time that you have complaining. You might have, because remember, tomorrow is not promised to any of us. And you could be dead in the next 2 hours. And you might have used that last 2 hours of your life complaining about something. That is how frail and fragile life is. So I just want to help you put things in perspective if you're one of those complainants, if you want to call it that. If you are, stop complaining and begin to thank God. Begin to be more appreciative, of what you have. Because as we see in the last verse, in 1 Corinthians 10, verse 10, right, where it says, neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured and were destroyed of the destroyer. And so what do you think happens? Remember I said a little earlier that complaining blocks your blessing. Right? What is the opposite of a blessing? The opposite of a blessing is a curse. So if you're blocking your blessing, what are you doing? You are inviting a curse upon your life. Because it's either you're blessed or you're cursed. And if you're blocking your blessing, then you are inviting curses upon your life by constantly complaining. Some food for thought there. Alright? So once again, I want to thank you for listening. I'm going to leave you with that. Let that simmer a little bit, right? Remember, as I always say, don't just exist, but be a blessing. All right? If you need prayer counseling, you can, call or WhatsApp us, 460-5510. You can also look for Reverend Jennifer McGregor, right, on Facebook. Right, and you can also contact her via Facebook if you need prayer, you need counseling, anything like that. All right, so thank you once again. Share the program. Much love and blessings to you all. Until the next one, JC Vibes is gone. You have been listening to Joe Radio Live.